Okay. All right. One more take. One more try at this. So before I disappeared on this whole fiasco of trying to record my CRT, we were talking about the condition of tubes, burning and whatever the fuck. So this is my KV-16GW2. It has 4x3 burn-in, unfortunately. Let me pull up a white screen here. You can kind of see it. You can definitely see it in that brief fade in. Has 4x3 burn-in. Very disappointing. A little hilarious. If you don't know, I used to have a KV-13FV100, one of those 13-inch Wegas, and it had 16 by 9 burn-in, which was funny. Well, in hindsight, it's funny now that I have a tube with 4x3 burn-in on a 16 by 9 tube. Anyways, it seems to be relatively high hour. The picture doesn't look too bad on it. It's actually decently bright, especially after warming up. It's probably been about 20 minutes or so, and it looks pretty decent. Ignore the composite dot crawl, all of this rainbowing that's going on. That's because of my emu driver setup, and I have it kind of fucked up right now. But yeah, it's pretty decent. One issue with my tube is that it's actually scratched to hell, which is very distracting to look at, but I might swap it with my other tube. I don't know. I have a 16GW1. That might be a swappable candidate. It depends on if I can repair the GW1 or not. We'll see about that. Repairing that is its whole own fiasco. Anyways, tube is also covered with some weird shit, like liquid or something. I was thinking it might be nicotine residue or something. I really have no idea what it is, though. It doesn't have a smell to it. It looks kind of brownish yellowish, which is why I was thinking it was nicotine residue. But also, it's not really on anything else except for the tube. So, like, I don't know. I'm kind of weirded out by it. Everything on the inside of the tube is covered with a fine black soot, which is pretty nice, pretty awesome. Anyways, as you can see here, there we go. I can switch between different aspect ratios, zoom ratios, stuff like that with my remote. And you can see 4x3 here. It looks like shit. The top is bowing a lot. Anyways, this kind of caught me off guard. So the 16GW1 has a big button called Game. And if you can see here, it looks like this one has a button over by the composite input. That's actually a knob, except not really, because it's a knob and a button. Haha. Anyways, it's weird. So, if I'm remembering correctly, and I very well might not be, because it's been a very long time since I used the 16GW1, I had taken it apart maybe a year ago because I was planning on doing the RGB mod. And then it sat on my shelf for a very long time because at the time I had tried the RGB mod, I completely misunderstood how the TV worked and what an RGB mod was. And I tried to plug into the microcontroller. And thinking about it now, I'm surprised I didn't break it then. But it didn't work, and I was like, well, I know there's a way to RGB mod it. So I left it disassembled on my shelf for a very, very long time. Up until Shank Mods got his own, and he RGB modded it. And he was talking about that in a Discord server, and was nice enough to show me how he did it. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I went with that knowledge forward, and a couple months later, I finally did the RGB mod. And then I didn't plug in the anode cap all the way, and I blew up. Well, this is speculation because I'm still not 100% sure, but I seem to have blown up the flyback transformer. Probably one of the harder parts to replace, aside from the tube itself. So it's not working right now. And I don't know. Anyways, I've kind of gone off on a tangent here. I can't really remember how it worked. But on this TV, we get two inputs. They separated the front and the back. You get your TV, you get input 1, and you get input 2. But if you press the green knob, if you actuate the button, it'll change to a game input, which is the same thing as input 2. And while you're on game input, you can rotate the knob and it'll adjust the vertical height. And it's very strange because on the GW1, if you press the green button, it would just cycle through all of the widescreen modes and the 4x3 modes, which it doesn't seem to happen on this. I don't like it. It's weird. Because on the 16GW1, you could press that green button and it would do that to every input. On this one, instead, I'm going to get a little far from the mic here because my mic is stationary. If I go and I press the button, we go to the game input, and then I can adjust this knob. All we get is this silly vertical height adjustment. And it's like, that's cool and all, but it only applies to the game input, and it's only vertical height adjustment for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something here, like if I can like pull the button or something. I don't think I can. Or like what is going on? If you press it again, the TV turns off. Or it goes into standby mode, actually. You can tell by this red light here. And it's like, it's kind of weird. I don't really get it. I don't know what the design idea was here. You can press it again and it'll turn the TV back on. And you go back to your game input. So, I don't know. It was interesting. Certainly a strange thing. But a welcome addition to the collection. I'm thinking of making a long-form video about this, going over the cleaning process, and maybe even talking about some of the history about it, if I can dig anything up about it. I might also go a little deeper into repairing the 16GW1. I don't even know if that's possible. My current idea for trying to repair it may result in blowing up the yoke, which I don't really want to happen, so I might just not touch it at all. What I might do is swap the flyback from this one into that one, swap the flybacks basically just to, I don't know, just to get it to work or something. But then that means this one doesn't work. I don't know. I'll do something.